End of year ritual. We're on day two, and thank you all for being part of the webinar. It was really potent last night when we went into what we received and the gifts we received, the food we received over this year. It was really immense field of information, and Spirit gave us so many gifts this year. And that's what I really realized yesterday evening when we went into it. I could really feel this change in the system and integration, and I could feel it in my own system where I hadn't fully grounded some of the webinar results in my system. And as they came in, I felt more light in my system, more upright, more strong, more confident, and ready. So it was really, really potent for me personally. I don't know how it was for yous. Um, we arrived actually just back in Nairobi, and we're in the forest again, which is beautiful. And yeah, all the wildlife is incredible. It was here greeting us. So yeah, I can feel that tonight's webinar is really going to be supported and by the forest, by the integration, where in the last year I was doing the work from here, from the forest, and I received so much support and blessings from the forest. So I feel it's really beautiful that we're doing this next webinar within the forest, where I received so much information from this medicinal forest and gifts and how the roots of the forest supports us. And tonight's webinar, I feel we're going to go deeper into the results. And also, I feel this morning how much the ancestors are proud of us, love us, respect us, and are grateful. And I can feel they want to really bring that true, that gratitude true to you, that you can feel it. And we'll do that in the webinar later. I feel that the ancestors want to speak true, to say thank you. Thank you for your love, your confidence, your courage, your support, and for being the one in the ancestral line who is ready to break through where they could not break through. They did their own work, and we're moving to the next level. And by us moving to the next level, we're supporting all our ancestors and future ancestors, future generations for growth and change and the collective. So I can feel so much gratitude coming in from the field, remembering when you show up to work on your system, you're working with all your ancestors. So your ancestors are with you in each of these webinars. And what really struck me last night was how much work we had done. And if you see it like food, each webinar gives you food, and like what we were talking earlier on the year when Washington was explaining about, the food and, when a baby is born, that the baby's fed on milk and then onto solid food, and the child may not want to be on the solid food, wants to go back to the milk. So each of these webinars and development you've done in your own personal life or through workshops you've been at in the last year, it was giving you food, and maybe your system didn't want to digest all that food, wanted to go back to the milk and wanted to go back to your old lifestyle. So this work is really solid food and really needs your willpower and courage to make new choices and new behavior patterns, because you're the work we're doing, and that came in very strong last night, was that we're pulling up our roots, and we were born into a house with some dry rot in it, let's say, and and the foundation we're in is not our own. So through the work we're doing, it's giving us the tools and food to rebuild the foundation, rebuild the house. But what is very important is when you receive the gifts, it's like building blocks for your new house. So every webinar, I feel, is like giving you new blocks for building the new house. But then you have to put the blocks in place. You have to put the blocks in place. It's not enough to leave them on the side. Then you need to put the blocks in place, and then you need to put your new door in, your new windows in. So this is where you take action and new choices, and you change from victimhood consciousness into empowerment, and you make solid, committed choices, and you show up, and you keep building a block each day, maybe in the new house. It doesn't have to be built in one day. So every small step, every new choice builds that new house. So what I realized last night when we were doing the webinar, I realized there was a lot of building blocks that we received that we had not put into place, and we hadn't started to build fully the new walls, put in the new windows, the new roof. So this is really, I feel this webinar is really important, because it's like, why do you do all that work and not use the blocks? You did the hard work. You have the blocks. So let's start honoring these blocks that we have. And then we have the tools for moving into the new year of creating the new house. How are we now on this new level of consciousness? So this webinar is helping you to honor the new building blocks and to integrate them into your life so you can make new conscious decisions before moving into the new year. And this is what this webinar is about. It's really honoring the food you received and digesting it before filling yourself up with new food again, but really digesting it and giving yourself time and space to integrate, build your system stronger, and drop your consciousness through your whole being, your whole system, and know that now I have a new house. I like the house. I love the house. And I'm going to build another wall, or I'm going to put the window over there. So it's your new house. So how are you going to furnish your house? That is important, that you furnish the house. You bring warmth to the house. You bring love to the house. A Greek friend of mine always said to me, when I got a new home, he says, well, put love, love, love the house, and the house will love you back. And it's true. You are the house. So the more you love your house, the more the house will love you back and support you. So what are you doing in your house for you? And what gifts have you received in the last year? And what building blocks have you got? It's important to know what you've got. So that's why I was asking about each webinar. I was using the webinar as an example. What did they do to you? What did they give to you? Because it's consciousness to know where I'm at on this new level of consciousness. Because when you're clearing patterns, you're not aware of the new levels. But when you receive those new gifts, those new building blocks, to say, oh, wow, thank you. I've never seen that block before, but this is what I'm going to do with it. This is what I'm going to do with it. So this is important. And the webinar, I feel, with results into your ritual of results is really supporting us to honor all the food we have, all the new blocks we have, all the new walls maybe that we built already. We probably built the house. So how am I going to decorate this house? And what am I going to do in the garden? So this is a beautiful opportunity before we move into the new year to digest and honor that we did a really great job, and we have huge amount of blocks there to build with, a lot of tools, a lot of new levels of consciousness to build our new life, because we are the legacy of our ancestors, and they want us to build a beautiful house because we need them and they need us to build that house in a beautiful way. And it's time that we do this for us and we do it for each other and the community. So there's beautiful gifts here, I feel, in this webinar for you to bless yourself, integrate, receive the blessings from your ancestors, receive the blessings of all the work you did throughout the year and throughout your life, so you can move into the new year empowered, not a victim, powerful, with a strong will, strong commitment, strong courage to move forward and create a new life. You are not a victim of this life. You are a creator, and you are not weak. You are powerful. Remember, you have so much power in your system, so much unlimited power coming to you, and you are directly connected to creation, to God itself. So I look forward to seeing you at the webinar later. Thank you for being on this journey with me. And yeah, if you want to be part of it, I really feel this is a real blessing, because you're the blessing, you're the gift, and we receive so many gifts from Spirit. And next year, then is about miracles, creating miracles. But before the miracles, honor that you have a beautiful house, you created it, and God, creation, has got your back and is supporting you. And there's a higher intelligence around us supporting us, which is supporting us in everything and has got us, has got us. So this year I feel is about moving into miracles. As I say, what we've done is our homework. We have our part to play. There is a part, okay, that we have to hand over to God for miracles to come into the system. But anytime I've seen miracles come into somebody's life, it's where they're self-responsible for cleaning up their own mess and making their own changes and commitment in their system, and then letting the past be, grown from it, learning from it, accepting it, letting it go, and letting the greater intelligence take care of you. This is not victimhood consciousness. You need not to be passive. There's a point where you need to do your homework. There's a point of integration. There's a point of action, commitment, and then there's a point of surrender. And so it's not only about God's going to take care of me. I trust in God. There is, of course, this part that plays out in every integration and every webinar that I do. It is God. It's coming from God. It's coming from a divine intelligence, a greater intelligence. But there's a part where I have to invest in the webinar. I show up for the webinar. I commit to the webinar. I show up for that hour and I show up for the next hour. So that is your part to play. So we have our part to play before we expect to get miracles. Miracles come into our lives. There's miracles in every moment and every day. We are the miracle. And it takes dedication and commitment and then surrendering to the greater, and I accept the greater to support me because I notice something huge here supporting me. And that's my higher self, that's the divine, which is bigger again and greater. God itself, creation itself, is blessing me and taking care of me. My ancestors are. And we have this beautiful journey that we're on that journey, on that path. So I look forward to really bringing this stronger into tonight's webinar and then moving it forward into the new year. Have a beautiful day and thank you for all your support.